This is Matt.
And I scored a goal in soccer last night.
And this is Out of Bed.
That's right, everybody. I scored a goal in soccer last night, and I am going to be riding that wave for months. So get ready to hear about it a lot tonight.
By the way, can you play for my 4 and 5-year-old soccer team tomorrow?
No, because they are probably better than me. So my name is Topher, because I didn't say it in the intro, because I was too excited about scoring a goal in soccer last night. And this is my co-host, Matt Palmer. Matt Palmer, say hello.
Hello.
And this is Out of Bed. Out of Bed is a podcast that myself and Matt do, where we sit down and chat with our friends and people that are friends of friends, and we learn about what gets them out of bed, what they're passionate about, and what interests them about life or about their activities or whatever. And so that's what we do. And we're like chugging along here. We've already recorded almost double the amount of episodes of our previous podcast.
The Dreamcast is dead.
The Dreamcast is dead. This is the last you will hear of it.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Every week I walk out of this and I think I need to get my life in order. And I already have a wife and 2 children, but I really think I gotta actually get myself in gear, because there's people who know what they're doing with themselves and they have a plan. Mm-hmm. So I am loving this show.
Because it feels like it makes you feel like you have your life in order?
No, it's making me feel like I've got to get in gear.
Oh, because the people that we talk to, right, they have their lives in order.
Totally. It's motivational. Yeah.
So speaking of people that have their lives in order, this is a big week. One, because we have our first female podcast guest. Woo woo, woo woo.
Who run the world?
And women, and that's right. I'm talking over her already. I'm so sorry, Megan. We have Megan and we have her husband. So not only do we have the first lady, but we have the first couple. So you guys are the first couple of Out of Bed. Please give it up for Meghan and Sean Doyle.
Woo. Thanks, guys.
Woo.
Happy to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves? Who are you? Why are you here? What up?
So clearly I'm Megan. I'm the female. And Sean and I got married back in November. We've been dating. Well, we were dating. I guess we're still technically dating. Date for life. Hashtag. Okay. Yeah. So we have been dating for over 6 years. And it's so awesome to now enter in the sacrament of matrimony, of being married together. And just learning so much about each other over this 10 months of being married and living together. It's been pretty awesome. But just we learned so much from each other. And so I'm a teacher. That's pretty cool. I get to mold the minds of youth every day. Right now it's still summer break, so I'm still enjoying these last couple sleep-ins. But I teach high school theology, and I am a campus minister. So I hang out with high schoolers all day and talk about Jesus.
Nice. That's a worthy cause, I'd say.
Thanks.
I would agree. I'm a strength and conditioning coach. My title for my job is sports performance director. And so basically what I do is I also work with kids and youth, all the way through 7, 8-year-olds, all the way up to professional. Work on getting them stronger, more powerful. But as we'll probably go into the podcast, it's a little bit more than just that. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not just about the deadlift or the bench or the squat or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But there's pieces of the puzzle that you can get to connect through strength conditioning that I find very fascinating. Mm-hmm. Gets me out of bed.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun. See, I think this happened last week too, where we had guests that were really good at being guests, and they kind of step on our toes a little bit, where they start answering the question.
There's a running shtick where they don't talk to the previous guest, but they come in and they go, "Listen, here's what gets me out of bed." And
damn it, this was my question. I was supposed to ask this.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Bye. Whatever. Jeez, this is awful.
He did show prep, which we did not do.
And the outro.
Outro, yeah, and the outro. Thank you. There we go, everybody. Goodbye. Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.
Interesting.
Thank you, Bob Barker.
Thank you. You're welcome. So strength and conditioning coach. Do you ever like work with soccer players at all?
Tons.
So maybe we should talk a little bit because I did score a goal in soccer last night, and I thought it should be mentioned. It was the only goal our team scored. I mean, whatever.
More important factor: did you guys win? Okay, there's this.
He's drinking his.
You were winless, correct?
We were winless. We did not win one game. We tied one game, but we did not win.
So you were like games. The Orioles of the Baltimore Soccer Rec League?
The only difference is we got to go to the playoffs. That
was every team in the playoffs?
Yes, it was. Every team was in the playoffs, but we weren't the first to get eliminated.
So immediately you said something that fascinated me. Sorry, Chris.
Wait, are we done talking about the goal that I scored in soccer last night?
Yeah.
Strength and conditioning for 7-year-olds.
So, yeah, that is not what you would expect. So, without diving too much into like the science behind everything, really getting these 7-year-old kids to understand just how to move, right? How to balance on one leg, how to develop proper just mechanics of walking, running, skipping, jumping, landing, through more like games, not like we're going to squat, we're going to bench and do all that, because that's ridiculous. But getting them to toss a ball in the air with their left hand and catch it in their right hand works on hand-eye coordination, balance, proprioception. So it's these silly things that go through my head when I'm like, oh, we're going to play a game with these kids. That leads more into like long-term athletic development. Because a 7-year-old, when Chris was 7, no one knew he was going to be the next Messi and score a goal in soccer.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I know who Messi is because I scored a goal in soccer last night.
But so these kids that come to us, I explain to them and their parents that we're really looking for long-term athletic development. We really want them to just be safe when they play, have fun with training, and kind of gain a passion for that aspect of it. Not just playing soccer, but also the training that goes with it.
Nice. And what's their reaction to these games? Like, I feel like there's a lot of times in teaching in general where you're like, the teacher or coach is like, we're going to play a game. And they're like, ooh, fun. This is way better than learning. And then like at the end of it, they realize that they've now learned a new skill that they were like tricked into learning. Like, do they enjoy the games? Do they find the games cheesy? I guess at 7, they probably like...
At 7, they enjoy literally everything.
Yeah, they're like, life is great!
And I've had high school kids be like, how come we can't play that game that they're playing?
Yeah.
So it kind of works. It works both ways. Like some kids are like, this is boring. I want to play basketball instead of soccer. Or why are we throwing a ball? But in the grand scheme of things, like a lot of the kids really like it. I don't explain to them at the like very beginning why this game is important. They just know that they're having fun. Yeah, and that's kind of the most important at that age, to just develop a passion for sports in general and just playing and having a good time with their friends. That's really what's more important than winning or jumping the highest or running the fastest.
Okay.
So how did you two meet?
Love story time. Go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I had a crush on a guy, not him. And
Whoops.
This was in high school, and this other guy, shout out to Brian Limecooler. You're probably not listening, but thanks for bringing us together. So he invited me to this
the guy you had a crush on?
Yeah. So
nice.
He invited us to this pool party. And Sean and I met, and we hit it off right away. We have very similar personalities. And
I jumped over fire for her.
He did. He was trying to impress me the whole time. Like he did.
Nice.
At one point, he like did a backflip off of the diving board, but I didn't see it, so he had to like do it again. And this time he was like, "Hey, Megan, check this out.
Hey, watch what I can do." Like me.
Yeah. So anyway, at
That's
the end of that,
Ron
though,
Burgundy-esque right
yeah,
there.
watch me do it. So at the end of that, though, he got asked for my number, and then turns out he had a girlfriend.
Whoa!
I know, right? So,
bet you weren't doing backflips for her.
So we only really saw each other when we hung out with that group of people, those like mutual friends. And what were you saying at that time to yourself?
Oh, like I shouldn't like have these feelings because I'm already in a relationship, so I'm going to bury them and lock them away.
Yeah, so you let me pass by, but whatever.
Instead of getting out of the relationship that you don't have feelings for.
So clearly we weren't ready for each other at that point. So yeah, flash forward like 4 years, and we are actually, it was totally random. It's like a movie. So I was on Facebook, and my brother had just run the Tough Mudder race. It's like a big mud run, and Sean posted something about it.
I was running like my second.
Yeah, and so I commented, and I was like, hey, like my brother just did this. And so I just decided to text him randomly. And then we decided to get coffee. We went to Starbucks, talked for 4 hours. He bought my drink. That's kind of classy.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. So
wait, venti?
It was a venti.
Grande, tall?
Sure. I would have spent anything.
Yeah. What was the drink? Like, that's really important. Like, I got a grande black coffee. Not as big a deal as like, like
fun fact.
venti, vanilla sweet cream cold brew.
Well, no, because
that's my go-to.
At that time, before she was like a teacher, she didn't like coffee.
Oh, I remember pre-Coffee Meghan.
So it was a tea.
Oh yeah,
we got tea. Yeah, and then she became a teacher, and she found that coffee is the life.
The only way to survive.
Yeah.
I like the way you described her as pre-Coffee Meghan.
Pre-Coffee Meghan.
Yeah.
Natural energy.
As if like that was the dark period in her life.
Well, no, I think you are a person that nobody would have ever been like, oh, let's give this girl caffeine. Like, I don't think people like thought you would need that. But again, teaching.
You get tired, man.
It's a tiring thing.
God created coffee.
He did.
Anyway, so the next day after that little coffee sesh, actually my parents were like, oh, he totally likes you. And I'm like, nah, we're just friends. We're getting back in touch. I went to Belize on a service trip, and right before he left, I was packing upstairs, and I come back downstairs, and he's sitting on the couch talking to my parents. And I was like, dude, what are you here? He's like, oh, I just wanted to say goodbye to you before you left. And I was like, okay, like, cool. He leaves. My parents are like, he likes you. I'm like, no. And so
how many girlfriends did you have at that point?
No, you were single. Let it be known that he was single at that point.
I'm just joking. I'm sorry. I'm trying to rock the boat. I'm so sorry.
Do you want to tell you the story? Okay.
Megan, keep telling the story, Sean.
Okay. So after Belize, I come back, and we just like started hanging out, and we created this little summer bucket list. And so we just decided to do all these fun things. And eventually, I know that you had Justin Yost on the show.
Yep.
That's one of Sean's best friends. And at one point,
was he your best man?
Yeah.
Best man at your wedding, yeah.
Yeah, the best man. So at one point over the summer, Sean was like super patient. I'd gotten out of kind of a rough relationship, and he was really patient with just wanting to do whatever was best for me. And so wanted to date definitely sooner, I think, but he was patient in waiting, which is prudent and virtuous. So eventually, we were hanging out with Justin, and we were all day. I knew this was going to happen. Sean asked my parents, can I date her? And I knew this was going to happen, and he was putting it off so much.
She was eavesdropping.
I heard in the conversation. So eventually, like, we were hanging out with Justin and his now wife, and we were playing street hockey, and we rocked it as a team. And then we went to this cool, classy drive-in movie theater. And eventually, I kept waiting. I was like, if he's not going to ask me, then I'm just going to ask him. And I didn't.
Did you go to the Benjis?
Yeah, we did.
Benjis.
Love Benjis.
Nice.
So
what movie?
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't
remember.
remember.
Dude, you got to remember. You got to get the receipt.
Yeah, you got to find the receipt of that.
Shoot, there were 3
I have
of
a
them.
wedding ring.
That's true.
Yeah, I guess that's better than a Benji's
That's
receipt.
really good. So then eventually, he asked me to be his girlfriend.
How many backflips did he do when he asked that?
I missed them
0.
all.
You missed all of them. That he was trying to ask you. You were like, just ask me already. And meanwhile, he's behind the car doing backflips over and over again.
Yeah. So we dated 5 years, long distance. Just being at different colleges and different master's programs. I studied abroad at one time in Dublin. Sean had an internship in Colorado. So we've just kind of supported each other in our individual goals and dreams.
Those are my 2 favorite places. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Dublin and Colorado.
Oh, sick. We gotta be friends.
We're now your 2 favorite people.
Aaron, we gotta be friends now.
Yeah.
So just supporting each other from afar and rocking life.
Dude, you were straight chivalrous.
He was.
Was I?
Except, I
You
mean,
asked her parents if you could date her.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
was that
Married.
to make up for the backflips you were doing when you had a girlfriend in high school?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it was. No.
Well, I think you made up for it very well.
Dude,
Well,
I was so scared to meet my wife's parents, like, and that was after the wedding. But like, no, like dating, it took like 5 months for me to work up the courage to
It was
actually.
like the next night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I attribute that to my parents. They're just like, yeah, go talk to people. Like it's fine. Go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I just thought that was the right thing to do.
No, that's awesome. I feel like that is a lot more difficult than just asking the girl.
right.
I feel like it's
Absolutely.
one thing to be like, "Hi, I like you, let's date." You know how you ask women out, of
course.
but it's a completely other thing to be like, "Hi, the woman that you hold most dear in your life, that you raised, I want to be the man in her life." Or a man in her life that is important. Can I please date her?
Is that okay?
Is that all right? Because I would have so much fear in like I had enough fear meeting Frankie's parents like on.
These are the nicest people in the world.
They're the night. Yeah, they're so nice. I think I panicked when I met Frankie's parents, and I complimented a step in their house. So they talk about this all the time. This is like their favorite story to tell. Is be like, the first time Chris came over, he complimented our step, and they like so apparently they have like their living room, and the rest of the house is like a little bit higher up, and so they have like a step down into the living room area.
That is a cool step.
And I was like, yeah, see, Aaron, as somebody who is dating a member of the Cerquetti family, he understands that is a really cool step. It's like it distinguishes the living room from the rest of the house. And I thought it was really cool. And they thought it was the funniest thing ever that this nervous ass kid was like, I like your step. Can I take your daughter on
And
a
now
date?
you're getting married.
And now we're getting married. So,
And now you're a son-in-law.
and now I'm
We're
going to be
going
a
to be
son-in-law. They're still probably regretting that, but
It was
They
such
still
a.
have the step, so.
they do still have step.
So you didn't have to like ask his parents if like
No,
you wanted to
actually,
go to-
the first time I hung out with his parents, we talked about camping and Mother Teresa. So I knew that I wanted to be part of this family.
That's an amazing. Yeah, that's like
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's
We were supposed to go to a party and we were like 2 hours late because we were just chatting with his parents.
about camping and
And then
Mother
we did-
Teresa.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's like speaking the sprinkle love language. Like, hey, let's just go right to Mother Teresa.
And nature. Like, let's talk about nature
Honestly, yeah.
and God in some way. Like, let's go for it.
Perfect.
And God in nature. Okay.
Yeah, that's
So how much did you guys like know about like? Because it seems like you played the long game a little bit.
Oh God, the entire time we were dating.
the longest game.
Yeah, we were long distance 4 or 5 years before. Like the first time that we were like actually together for more than a week's time was after we got married. So that was which I wouldn't recommend it, but it also forced us to work on our communication a heck of a lot, which is kind of like not like the main issue, but like what a lot of people tend to struggle
It's a
with.
tough part of it, especially in today's society.
And
Yeah.
being super intentional about our time together too.
Yeah.
Because when we did see each other finally, it was like this awesome weekend. It was fully devoted to each other and
You can't waste that
to
time.
getting to know
Right.
each other's friends and stuff like that, or spending time with each other's families together. So, yeah.
We
You
just
have a
got
question.
used to super producer sending us questions. In the
Yeah,
middle
our
of the
producer
show via
messages us thing. Oh, so were you calling him the producer?
That's a
this
title
week.
up.
Yeah, so we were joking earlier that
The
each
glue
week
that holds this show together.
yeah, we've changed Aaron's title multiple times. Megan suggested best boy as one of the titles we
I
could
said
use today.
That would be the lowest.
No,
We
Megan
don't
said you should totally make him the best boy. It was totally Megan's
Megan
idea.
anymore.
Let it be known
Not
that
friends with
that
Megan.
didn't happen.
It happened. I was there for it.
So, one of the things that I thought was kind of remarkable going into the show was because I knew Megan like 10 years ago. I interviewed her when I was a reporter, and then I said to Chris, I said, "All right, I'm just going to interview her every 10 years now. I think at this point."
Yeah.
And I knew like when I met you, like you were in this like big Catholic circle. You know, obviously your dad was a youth minister and that kind of thing. What is going on in this
What is
house?
that noise?
Sounds
Do you hear
That's
that?
motorcycles.
Oh, motorcycles. Cool.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
okay.
Sorry,
So,
motorcycles are happening.
Did you always feel like you were going to go in that direction too? Because I know like you're a teacher now, a theology teacher, but like, did you feel pressure to go in that situation, or did it feel natural?
I wouldn't say pressured. I actually started out with a passion for teaching in general when I was like 7 years old. I would like line up my stuffed animals and give them fake tests and then take the test and then grade the test. I know.
Sean's like, I didn't know that.
Yes, you did. Okay. I loved school. I loved teaching. And I always thought I was going to be like a 4th grade teacher. So I entered Mount St. Mary's. Whoop, go Mount.
Yeah.
To the Mount. I entered Mount St. Mary's wanting to be an elementary ed teacher. And yes, I had a super involved upbringing in youth ministry, tag along to the service trips and go visit my dad on High Lie and work camp and stuff like that, and then did all that kinds of stuff.
Side note, literally everyone that I met at Mount St. Mary's ever was probably from a, Outward Bound?
Yeah.
Which is a service trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
That's where they met me. Okay, so yeah, an upbringing of youth ministry and service. But I kind of made it my own when I was in high school. There was definitely a sense of, I'm doing this because my family's involved or because it's the right thing to do or what I'm supposed to be doing or what my friends are doing. But at a certain point, it did change. And so when I was at the Mount and I started taking more theology classes and going to daily mass and getting involved in campus ministry there, I realized, I really have a passion for this faith, but not only for myself, but to be able to explain it to other people and help make it approachable and relatable to them because it is, the truth and gives people purpose and meaning in their lives. So that kind of switched me over to secondary ed and education. And then I got my master's in education. That was just adding more tools to the toolbox. And I have fallen in love with the classroom and being able to form relationships with the youth and to bring them to a greater understanding of their lives.
So do you think like marriage has changed, like, because faith is like a big part of your lives? Has it changed it at all? Has it evolved it? Or like your own faith life, and how does it connect with each other?
Yeah, I think so. The biggest thing I think that marriage has shown us is all about sacrifice and how to love is, so St. Thomas Aquinas says, to love is to will the good of another. And when you love someone, you want what's best for them, which sometimes means that you have to put yourself on the back burner. And I definitely experienced that in my career, and Sean does too, definitely, with what's best for the athletes. How do I, I stay after sessions to work with them a little bit extra. Same thing with teaching, you give of yourselves, but in a totally, completely different way in marriage. Sean doesn't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to make me coffee before I leave, or I don't want to do another load of his stinky gym laundry, but I do it. You make these choices every day out of love for one another.
Yeah. We both play the unsung hero card basically with our jobs. Like that's what our jobs are. We don't get a lot of recognition for the stuff that we do, and when we do get recognition, it's kind of few and far between. And both of us know that, but we also, it's kind of cool to, I'm a coach, she's a teacher, but both go really well hand in hand. They both feed off of each other. Yeah. So I think that we have this really cool opportunity in our marriage that, Meghan can talk about her day and I can talk about my day, and they both kind of feed off each other, and we can both learn from each other in each other's days. Like, man, I really had to discipline these kids in this way. Oh, like, I totally get that. I've had to do that. Or I've asked questions for Meghan, like, hey, because I work with the same age people, how do you go about doing this scenario? Yeah. And she can, give me really great insights, and always listen to, like, what she says, because what she does this for technically longer than I have. So she really has a lot of good experience with it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I think what part of the reason I asked you guys to be on the podcast is I've noticed the connection between, obviously you two, but the connection between your careers. And I think what's really fascinating to me is how, like, as a spectator, as we all are with people's relationships or their lives on Facebook or Instagram or whatever the social media is, we kind of see these things that people are putting forward. And I think what the two of you seem to put forward is education, like in multiple different ways, whether it be in the classroom or in the gym or on the field, but also like pushing each other and pushing like yourselves a little bit farther. Like I think so recently you've started, Megan, as like a Beachbody coach, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a thing we can talk about?
Yeah.
So like what you do is kind of like feeding into what she's doing now.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't really know Sean. I didn't know you super well before you and Megan. I didn't know you before you and Megan started dating. But like I think as I've gotten to know you, I've seen elements of your faith shine through a lot more than before you guys got married. And again, that part of that is that I didn't know you super well, but I think that like it seems like your like fitness and like physical like coaching and her like faith and spiritual coaching, they're like feeding each other in this really cool, this cool way. I don't know. Talk about,
we kind of joke that Megan does the soul and I do the body.
Yeah.
Kind of
okay.
Body and
cool.
soul.
I'm glad I'm not off base with that. I didn't want it to sound like Sean, you were a heathen before you and Megan.
Well, no, but you bring up kind of a cool point, because before I met Megan, it was, I didn't go, to church as often. I wasn't as big into my faith as I am now, and just by nature of her family, what she believes in so, passionately, and, how she goes about carrying herself has, obviously just influenced me in the positive. So I have changed, the way that I go about, looking at these things in my own faith, and really challenging myself to almost not like live up to your standards, but like live up to a higher purpose, and like really trying to understand, what am I being called for? Like why do I like love coaching so much, and why do I do the job that I do? And it's kind of, I guess, kind of the same for you. We both challenge each other to be better each day, or be the best version of ourselves. So if we're not living up to that, we'll kind of like get on each other about it. Like, why aren't you being better than what you're being right now?
Yeah.
Which is like tough love. So
that's a tough thing to say to your significant other.
It absolutely is. And I don't like hearing it.
Yeah.
But I absolutely need it, because that's how I will progress and how I will get better. And in no scenario have I not been grateful for Megan being hard on me to make me better. Because at the end of the day, she's not coming from like a malicious background. It's more of I know you're better, therefore be better.
Now, how long does it take you to recognize that, though? Do you because I imagine you don't recognize that in the moment.
Oh God, no.
Like if she's like, hey, be better, that stings, and you're probably not
I'm fine. I'm better than I've ever been.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't take very long. I think that, I'll be hard-headed for a couple hours, maybe at most a day, but then after the initial motions of whatever had happened have died down.
You were right.
I'll
my
go back
Sean
and
impression.
Be like, yeah, like you were right. I should have, or I could have done this. But more so than just saying I could have or I should have, it's I should have, and here's how I'm going to get better.
Nice.
So we don't just stop at, I'm going to be like, I should have done this, and it stops there. It's, I should have done this, and here are steps to get better.
Yeah, here's the action plan. It's going to happen.
For me, the biggest culture shock of getting married was waking up some days and going, oh my God, there's another person here. Did you ever feel that at all? Like, did you ever have that adjustment of, oh God?
No. I think because of the long distance, we were just like I was so excited to finally be able to wake up and like go to bed with like Megan. We had been long distance for 5 years, and literally like going up to the point of our wedding day, we still weren't, like living with each other, which is a pretty normal occurrence nowadays.
Yeah.
So the fact that, you know, we got to wake up next to each other, and we still get to wake up each other, you know, every day. We get to go to sleep together pretty much every day, unless you're out on a retreat, which is okay.
Yeah.
I love it. It's probably the number one thing that I tell people, like, you know, what's exciting about being a new married couple? It's like, I get to wake up every day next to her, which is the coolest thing.
So everything was new, you know. I think there are those moments I'll turn to him and be like, dude, we're married. Like, this is cool. We're married.
Neat.
Or like, I'll catch a glimpse of his ring and I'll be like, wow, this is awesome.
I did that.
Or even, honestly, it's like the most normal things. Like, he'll come home after a really late training at like 8:30 at night or something, and then we'll be like, hey, let's go get Chipotle. And then we have Chipotle, we're sitting on our couch, and we're like, you don't have to leave. Like,
oh my gosh.
This is so cool.
I have to go home.
Frankie and I have talked about that so much, where we're like, oh my gosh, we get to like drive to the same place together. Like, I don't have to drive back to my house and then have her get in her car and then drive to her house from there. Like, oh, it's going to be magical.
It's the most like simple thing. It's like, I don't have to drive home. But like, it speaks so much, so many volumes.
I'm so jealous of you guys right now for that one thing. Like, I can't wait.
Because for me, it was always like, I got married relatively late. I was like 33, 34, somewhere in that range. And I remember thinking, like, I've been with me my entire life. Why would somebody else, like, want to be with me, too? I don't know. And still to this day, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm really lucky. Like
why does she want to be around me again?
Like, and we've got children. This is crazy. So how did you, like, or what did you learn from being separated as long as you guys were? Like, how did you kind of make it work, and what would you tell other people?
Learn about each other, or about dating?
Yeah, like that
just
long
in
distance.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, I know Sean said it earlier, was communication. We communicate differently, and now we've kind of like morphed into like our, I don't know, more my way of communicating. So Sean is a little more introverted than I am, in the sense that he processes things internally. So when he's upset, or really any emotion that he feels, a lot of times it's internal. So when he'd be upset, and it's funny when you're long distance and you're like, we would have Skype conversation. Yeah. Like Skype dinner dates or FaceTime every night, or so when we could. And it's funny when you could, like, I could honestly tell when you were upset, but like he wouldn't say anything. So he likes to process it internally. So we're not going to get anywhere, you know, if you keep it inside. Where I am very much a verbal person. I'm pretty feisty and pretty quick to react with things. Yeah. And so it was kind of trying to find the middle ground between that. So Sean has definitely gone out of his way to be better at talking things through with me and learning that. And I've been better with giving him space to have time to process and space to think about things before. Yeah.
And it all boils down back to communication. So if, like, you know, if we're arguing about something and it gets to the point where, like, I need just space and time to process, I'll just say that. Yeah. Like, look, like, you know, I need time to think. You know, I need time to process. And it's not like a negative thing. It's just how I go about emotionally and, like, mentally trying to go about the best way of doing things. Because I feel like in the heat of the moment, you know, things can fly that you may not want to say. Right. So for me, I will internalize it, go through every possibility of what differently, like, I could have done something. Mm-hmm. It's never like, I never try to put it on to like, well, how come Meghan did this? How come Meghan did that? It's, what did I not do? Or what did what did I do that caused this? And how can I be better? Mm-hmm.
I think another thing that we learned is that we are our own people, and that's important. I know a lot of people say, my better half, or he's my other half, and I really don't like that analogy, because you should be your own person. You should each be whole, and then in that way you can complement each other.
Yeah.
So when you're long distance, I mean, you're forced to have your own life, you know? And we were so good at, like, I remember applying to grad school, and I was like, Sean, like, I'm going to move to New England. And he was like, cool. That sounds cool. Or like, Sean, I'm going to study abroad in Dublin. Or Meghan, I'm going to go do this internship. And every time it was like, oh, that's going to be tough, but like, that's awesome. And that's going to be so good for you and so good for us, because we were able to support each other in our dreams and our goals. and to kind of develop our own hobbies and passions and then sharing it together. So I think that's probably a really important thing for couples, is to remember that it's okay to be your own person and to enjoy things and then sharing it together, and to be patient with one another about that.
Nice. You guys should totally lead one of those marriage prep things.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
cool.
I want to touch on the compliment thing, because I think that's really great. So I immediately just aggressively pointed at Meghan when she said that, because it reminded me the chaplain at Mount St. Mary's, when both Meghan and I were there, was Father Brian Nolan, and he in a homily once talked about your significant other shouldn't complete you, they should compliment you. And I think what I've been able to see is it seems like you guys do that for each other. And you mentioned the different types of communicating. So very important question. Do you know your love languages? And what are they?
So
you tell mine.
Well, I was going to bring that up actually, with the love languages, because it's
very important.
It's after reading the book, it made perfect sense.
You actually read the entire book. I took the easy way out.
Now. We read it when we were first long distance in college.
Well, we took it. I
took the quiz. That was the easy
quiz when we were long distance twice. Mm-hmm. But then we actually read the book. So I actually read the book and tried to understand the love languages more. And it was fascinating to understand where the other person is coming from. Mm-hmm. But then also kind of in marriage prep, the pre-Cana, we learned about family of origin. Mm-hmm. And so why I don't do something that Meghan does naturally is because my family never experienced it.
Yeah.
So it to her, it made perfect sense to do this thing, but to me, I had never done it or thought of it that way because my family didn't do it that way. So it was those kind of things that we kind of discovered.
That's
we're still discovering that 7 years later.
You guys are just touching on things that I'm all right, got to talk to Frankie about this later. I need to, I got to debrief with her about this.
Frankie, are you listening?
Yeah.
But in terms of love languages, so Meghan's love languages is words of affirmation. Is a really big one. So actually complimenting her, not just be you're pretty, or I love your hair today, but more along the lines of hey, I'm really proud of the work that you have done in school, or hey, that presentation that you just put together was awesome. I loved how, and then listing things. Quality time is a big one, definitely. I think those are the two big ones. Yeah. And then what do you?
I feel like I'm gonna be you were already Meghan's are Frankie's, and I feel like yours and mine are probably going to line up. I'm very excited to hear these.
Find out.
What is it? Go.
His top one is quality time.
Oh, damn it! Never mind.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
And his other one is acts of service.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had mine was gifts and acts of service.
Sorry.
So
I think
sounds a really good gift giver though.
Well, yeah. Honestly. I think I tend to just give random gifts because I think they're cool and I think they're fun.
See something and be oh, who would really like this? I'm going to buy it anyway.
Yeah. That's
for
good.
no reason.
Yeah, but I think it's super, super important to know that love language.
Oh, totally.
Not just for your significant other, but
for yourself. Know how you are understand why these things are important to you, and they might not be important to your partner as
and how
much.
you need to be filled. So you could think, I'm giving him whatever, or maybe words of affirmation is my second, and so if I compliment him a lot or verbally affirm him in some way, but I'm not doing other things, spending actual quality time together with him or doing the dishes or whatever, then it's not going to mean as much, and he's not going to feel as cared for, cherished, loved, appreciated, so that's a huge learning, I think, for anybody in a relationship, or even between friends or parents and children or roommates.
It's great for jobs too. I feel like it's really good for jobs and understanding how to motivate people, but
probably not the physical touch for jobs, but
yeah.
If
your top language is physical touch, you're fired. Yeah. I think the love language quiz is interesting to me because as somebody who hasn't read the book, so I'm
you should read the book.
I should read the book, and so I'm gonna speak with a lot of ignorance and pretend that I have knowledge, which is kind of how I live life. But
you scored a goal.
I did score a goal in soccer last night, so but I think for the love language quiz, I think it would be good to have your significant other take the quiz for you, because I know for a fact that gifts are a lot higher on Frankie's list than she wants people to believe. Like, I feel like gifts gets a really bad rep.
It's not a bad
That
thing
is
now.
my love language.
Yes.
I run out and like I think of elaborate things.
Yeah.
It's
It's
sweet,
so
though.
sweet. But like what I'm saying is that I think Frankie, when she took the quiz, my theory is that she took the quiz and she was like, I don't want people to think that I'm selfish and materialistic, so she wouldn't like put that. But I've given her a cup of coffee and seen her like tear up. Like I brought her a stick of gum and she's like, that was so sweet of you.
Right.
See, but my wife is the most practical person in the world. And so like when I come home with something, like it's like roses or something like that, she'll be like, did you really need to do that? You know, like I'm like, oh no, backfire. You know, or like something with the children, like because you want to like be loved by your kids in some way, and so like I'll like take them somewhere and I'll get them something, and then she's like, hey, did you look at our bank account? You know, like that kind of thing. Like she's really practical in a way that's sort of like, yes, totally helpful, because like sometimes like my mind goes off the reservation. Yeah. And like she's practical, but at the same time, like she's spiritual, and she'll like remind me of like what's important right now. Like I'm a little bit of a dreamer.
That's funny.
Well, you need
Megan and I are kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm the example I was gonna go to with Matt is like Matt buying like a Lego Death Star.
Oh, I'm not that bad.
And be like, this will be something for our kids to enjoy that we could do with them. And she's like, well, we could just spend quality time with them and not have to spend a bunch of money.
And I'll be like, no. Like, I got the theme song. I'm gonna hum that. We're gonna do that. All right.
It's gonna be a family Star Wars night, babe.
I might even let the kids do it.
But Sean, you were saying that's like you guys?
Yeah, I think Megan keeps me very grounded because I wanted to do these elaborate things or like go do all these really fun experiences, which not to say that she doesn't want to do,
No fun.
but
Big old stick in the mud.
she's more like, that would be so awesome. Let's think about like, you know, what we have coming up and, you know, what's going on in our near future and see if that's actually a good idea. And then we'll do that. And then it's like, oh.
She's like Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder, just like being your conscience.
That is the perfect way to describe my wife.
Jiminy Cricket?
Yeah.
Is this going to get you in trouble if we refer
like she
to her?
sings "When You Wish Upon a Star" like right before bed every night, and I fall asleep.
I bet she has a great voice too. Like I feel like she can
gorgeous
dude.
voice.
I bet she can sing.
Like we're in church and it's just like so comforting, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's on her A game.
Nice.
Like
That's
she's
good.
showing up the canter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, you touched on something earlier that I thought was interesting. I think you like briefly mentioned it. Skype dinner dates.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your go-to food for these Skype dinner dates?
Okay, so a lot of times actually we'd make each other's favorite foods. So he would make
that's fun.
some like snappy stir fry, and then I would put together like, I don't know, like a burger and
Steak.
and
So you would eat your partner's favorite food?
yeah. So
even
like,
if you didn't like it.
I mean we have the same, we have very similar
Okay.
lifestyles, but yeah, but almost like, oh hey Sean, come over and I'll cook for you, you know. But really we're 600 miles apart, so you can't do that. But you'll come over virtually. So
We also watch
I'd make
the
like
same movie
and play
at the
at the
same
same time.
There's like a thing, apparently there's like a site you can do that on now where
No
they
way.
like it like syncs up
21st
and then
century,
allows you to communicate in some way with it. I don't really know.
We just
but
did Skype and 1, 2, 3 go.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But yeah, so that was nice. This is a nice way to be together but not together.
Yeah,
you know?
a little bit more special than just like we wouldn't do that often, so we try to reserve it for like, you know, hey, let's go on a date, and it's been like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I think it was also kind of important mentally to call it a date because then it meant like a little bit more. So like we would actually like
Sean actually put
dress.
on
We would dress
polo.
up and you know, put on like jeans and a polo. Not
dress
just,
up in jeans.
Dress up in jeans and a polo.
This is his dress.
I want it to be known that Sean is currently very dressed up in jeans and a polo.
That is
I
my
asked
dressed
him
up.
to wear that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a black polo if that makes it any classier.
Yeah, that's cool.
Chris and I dressed up.
Yeah, we dressed up. I wanted to wear a wrestling shirt, but I didn't.
You should have.
Because I wanted to look classy.
Should have worn your soccer jersey, honestly.
Because you scored a goal last night.
Well, see, it's. I haven't watched it yet because it got really sweaty from all the soccer I played last night.
You haven't
where I scored a goal.
Have you?
I still haven't showered. The success is just like reeking off of me right now. See, okay, so this is the last time we'll like dive into the goal, and then we'll never mention the goal again. Okay?
That's
dude. We're gonna be talking about this goal next.
So
week.
there are people here. I don't think many of you have seen me play sports. Have any of you seen me play sports?
No, but
we've played like Can Jam together.
That's different.
Have you seen me play sports, man? I feel like you've maybe seen me play sports. I'm not good at sports, is what I'm trying to get at. If you haven't seen me play sports, I'm not good at them. I am very inconsistent, and which is good and bad. It's bad because I'm not good most of the time, but it is good because when I do something well, people lose their minds.
Yes.
And it makes for some really fun moments.
You're that dude who is not good, but like not good for the entire game, but then it comes down to like the last minute when you just score one goal and all of a sudden you score the goal.
Exactly.
So you're the dude.
Yeah, it worked. It's great. So this is my second season playing soccer with this like group that I was playing with, and the whole time I was not very good. Like this entire season I played defense most of the season, and so I finally get on offense a little bit. I'm playing forward. Is it forward? Is that the soccer
Yes,
term?
that's
forward. I look to the guy coaching 4 and 5 year olds.
My level of coaching is, hey, run down the field. All right, now kick the ball.
That's my level of skill. So it gets one of the guys on my team, Pat. Shout out to Pat. He heads the ball, and I just happen to be literally like right in front of the goal. Like you, Sean, right now are the goal, and I am where I am. And the ball drops, and I literally just like
Perfect.
right in, and my friend Keith is just like frozen and is like, oh my God. Like he keeps saying, oh my God, over and over again. Other people are jumping up screaming. My friend Kenny is over on the bleachers like, Dara scored a goal. And I am not moving because I don't understand I think I might have blacked out a little bit. And then all I remember is a couple people hugging me, and then all of my team being on the other side of the field saying, Chris, you have to come back over now because we're about to continue the game. Like I thought the game just ended after I scored.
You thought it was going to be like Rudy and they were going to carry you off.
Yeah, it was. No, it was not like that. Although we did have another teammate kind of get injured later, and we did carry her off the field. So she's okay now. Everything's fine. But
she's alive.
She's alive.
I've never had that joy of scoring a goal because I've normally just scored a goal and then just kept this jog back.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do, but I do try, like if I do score in any sport, I try to be like humble and act like I've been like, oh, no big deal. I totally I do that all the time. But this was so shocking that even I was like, I don't know what happened.
You were unbearable at work today, weren't you?
I was. Yeah, that's all I talked about at work today was soccer. Luckily, it's been.
You're gonna order a cheesesteak or like pizza or whatever this week, and you'll be like, hey, thanks. By the way, I scored a goal last week.
Exactly.
I'm really hungry because I scored a goal.
Yeah, I'm really hungry. I worked up a big sweat, worked up a big appetite, scoring a goal. Anyway, speaking of goals, I'm trying to segue, and I'm not doing very well.
I think you're doing fantastic.
Meghan and Sean, you guys are our guests. So one thing I did want to talk about with you guys, you have a joint Instagram account.
Yes.
At the Doyle Duo. Follow along.
At the Doyle Duo. The Doyle Duo.
Yep.
Sorry, took me a second there. It'll be linked in the description
Sweet.
when we have descriptions.
Who's got most control over it?
Yeah.
That's me.
So the idea was definitely Megan's, and she pretty much does the most on it. I think I interject here and there, and I'm kind of the the funny husband in the background.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very obvious when Sean is the one posting, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just very different. It works.
You're a lot of inspiration for the post, though.
Oh,
I'm
sure,
just kind of
yeah.
like the. I mean, I don't know.
So how's it different than your individual?
Yeah, like what's the point of this?
So actually, a lot of people over the course of our relationship have said just things. So the whole marriage is about being a witness to other people of God's love, right? And so the way that you interact with each other should shine a light to that. And over the course of our relationship, like before we were married, a lot of people would say, oh gosh, like you guys, that would be so hard to be long distance. Like what a challenge, but you guys are awesome. Like you're always so happy. You always, like different things about our relationship. And after we got married, that kind of continued, and we were thinking like, what's a good way to channel this? Like if people really look to us for, that type of, good, healthy and holy relationship, how can we use that? And I remember kind of like scrolling on Instagram, like everybody does, and realizing, there's a lot of faith-filled women accounts and a lot of faith-filled, there's actually a good amount of faith-filled men's accounts too, and college accounts and all that kind of stuff, and there's not a lot of couple accounts, at least not a lot that I could find. And I was like, we should just like create one. Like
there's a couple on Twitter.
Oh really? Okay, I'll have to look at that.
Like there's one like That Catholic Couple I think is
sweet.
one.
Nice.
And they tried to do YouTube too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
But it's
tried.
You
said
totally
tried.
Well, no, they're doing it better than me.
Okay.
But it's totally hard, I think, like for Catholics somehow to do social media well. Mm-hmm. They like Protestants do it really, really well. Yeah, and Catholics sort of stumble into it awkwardly.
Yeah.
It's a little too. They're trying too hard. Mm-hmm. So how do you balance that?
So I think we learned from other people. So we follow some really awesome individuals, and then kind of have developed our own style. But really, the whole point is to showcase
us.
The normalcy of life. Like we're newlyweds, we're struggling with budgeting and balancing careers and thinking about a family and all the kind of normal parts of life, and how do you live as a healthy, holy couple. Yeah,
we're pretty much people on Instagram that just be like, look, like this is stuff that we're passionate about. This is stuff that we think helps us kind of live our lives to the fullest, or gives us hope in kind of tough times. And we're just going to kind of share it with you guys. It's also been a really cool platform for like Megan's Beachbody, which is in and of itself something awesome and really, really cool. She actually has a Facebook like accountability group that they all kind of
that my fiance's in.
Yeah, but it's I think it's really cool to have that be that kind of account where even like students of hers have been like, wow, like this is so awesome, like I want a relationship that is like that. And that's why I think it's really bigger than just an Instagram account. It actually to not to our knowledge, it really affects people in a positive way. So we can really reach other women, other men, other couples, to be like, wow, like that's awesome that they can do that, or that they have been through that.
Yeah, I think I have seen. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I have a lot of friends, especially I think in our generation, that have, when they got married, gotten a joint Instagram account or a joint Facebook account, and I did roll my eyes at it because it was like, what was the point of that? And when I first saw you guys there, I was like, oh, they're doing that too. What is it? And then you guys actually did something with it. Like the other people that I've seen, they just kind of were like, oh, we're the same person now, or we shouldn't have separate social media accounts. We need to, but like, it seemed like you guys actually had a plan of like, we want to, like you said, share a relationship. We want to share this aspect of our lives, which I think you have, again, that similarity in teaching together, whether it be physically, well, for both of you now, the physical side of teaching, but also the faith side and the spirituality of it. And I think I look at it now and I'm like, oh, wow, that's like just that's like a great like thing. Like Instagram accounts now, I think Instagram has become this very it's like a blog website now for in a lot of different ways. Like people in their posts or in their videos have been able to turn it into this smaller form of blogging or vlogging that can reach people in a very quick way, in a very easy way, but can reach people in a lot deeper of a way than you'd think. I think with, and maybe that's, I don't know, maybe Matt, you can speak to this with your knowledge of social media, but I think like a traditional blog is very like thought out, and it can be very long and sprawling and can be perfected and refined. But an Instagram post, as much tinkering as you can do with it, it is a little bit more raw and real than maybe like a full-length blog post would be.
Right. Like Casey and I, when we were engaged, we did this blog. And then as soon as we got married, we didn't update that blog at all. It's just standing there 7 years later. Like,
yeah.
But like we were like writing these very intentional, this is a reflection of who we are, what brought us to this point, etc. And now our social accounts are more just individually are more of a reflection of like day in, day out observations, like what my kid did crazy today, that kind of thing, or like, you know, like my wife calling me out for something, that kind of thing. But like it definitely like became more like this is on my mind right now. Whereas like I thought like I was writing the most poetic thing in the world, and then like including like a Muppet YouTube at the end of it.
I think the key is to be authentic and real. And when you are your true self and when you're consistent with being your authentic self, it makes a big difference to people. We've had a lot of random people message us and just say, hey, wow, this is like a really, really great. You're just like showing messages of hope and love. And that's beautiful. And you don't always see that, I think, on social media. So when you're, you know, real, and whether it's about the online coaching, health and fitness coaching business that I have now, or Sean's gym, or teaching, or just like going to get smoothies. I don't know. Like when you're your real, true, authentic self, it impacts people in different ways.
Did getting married change like your daily motivation? You know, like I know obviously we started this podcast with what gets you out of bed.
Yeah.
Has it changed what you're doing day to day, like how you go about your day?
I think it changes, like, maybe not necessarily, like, what, because I had the same type of job, like, when I was dating Megan, but yeah, I think it changes, like, the why I get out of bed. Megan has now become a much larger why, like, that I get out of bed. Like, I want to serve her. I want to, you know, make breakfast for her. So in that aspect, I would say, yeah, it's definitely changed in a very positive way. Also, like, you know, all right, well, like we had an argument last night. Here's a day that I get to get better at whatever I didn't do last night and get better at this scenario to prevent that from happening in the future.
Yeah.
We also, I mean, we have very similar interests and approaches to life. So, I mean, it's been really awesome because it's motivating to have our routines kind of blend together. And so I think, you know, in terms of routine, I've more recently been getting up early to pray, and that helps me kind of focus my day. So there are certain days when, you know, Sean might sleep in a little bit more or might choose to wake up with me and pray too, and that can be our time. Or definitely been more inspired to work out way more consistently after being married to him too, and that's been such a huge part of his life and our lives together. Eating healthy, I don't know, taking walks and stuff. I mean, it's just about like blending and melding those two lives and the routines that we're used to.
Yeah, which takes a lot longer than, you know, like they say the first year of your marriage is like, you know, the best years, or, you know, you don't the honeymoon phase, so to speak. I distinctly remember one couple that was like, by the way, your first year of marriage is going to be one of your the hardest years of marriage because you're figuring out how to actually live with each other.
Yeah.
It's a really awesome, like, great opportunity, but also like something way different than you've ever had to do. And it's just that learning curve that, you know, comes with literally every marriage that you go through. Every relationship that you go through is going to have some kind of learning curve. And hopefully, like you, Matt, hopefully, like there's still a learning curve, so to speak. Like you keep...
Utterly every day there's something new, something different.
Right.
Like, and I'm learning more about myself now. Like, I'm more reflective about who I am. Whereas, like, I just sort of acted when I was single. And now, like, granted, there's like 2 children in the mix. I mean, granted, there was a child in the mix before the first wedding anniversary. So, like, it was like, we got married 2 months later.
I thought you were going to say you were that child. Like,
oh, yeah.
You were the child.
My wife has 3 children in the family. Yeah, because, like, that was, like, life just kind of comes at you fast when you take something like that on. Because it was, I got married, and then 3 months later, we found out all of a sudden we were pregnant. And then, like, by November, so literally 11 months later, after we were married, we had a daughter. Oh my gosh. It was like, oh, let's get life together. You know, this is responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, like a year ago, I was just running around getting like Baja Fresh, and then all of a sudden, I'm like feeding a child. Yeah. You know, depending on me. Yeah, it's like cool. It's crazy how like things just sort of compound when like, but it's like really you become like I think you become a little more selfless. Like you guys are kind of giving off that vibe in a way that feels incredibly natural. You know, that's like a hard thing, I think, like giving up of self.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely learned it. Like, I know one of the biggest things that Sean learned is to think in terms of like schedule. Like, there's another person involved. You know, like I can't just stay.
I can't stay after work for another hour and
doing
whatever because Megan's at home waiting for me to waiting to eat dinner with me to like talk about our days or just to, you know, spend quality time together. So like I have to be very intentional and very like focused on saying no to things because I want to help as many people as I can. I want to be there if my coach has an issue with something and wants to talk it through, or if a parent is like, hey, can we meet at 7:30 at night after your session, you know, and how you've already been there for about 12 hours that day. And I have to be willing to say no, you know, I have like other responsibilities and other wants and desires to go home to. And that was a really big challenge for me and still is sometimes.
What was a challenge for me?
Patience.
I'm really patient with my students. I'm really patient with coworkers.
And then very impatient with Sean.
Yeah. And I think I just like throughout the day, like my patience level just kind of like drops. And then I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. I definitely have had to learn to be way more patient. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. It really is. Like when you're tired and Sean's a lot to deal with sometimes.
I am.
In a good way, but yeah.
I'm getting that vibe. Like I'm feeling like this is a lot right now. So like it
Thank
just,
you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You.
No, you're good.
Dig me more into the hole.
Yeah, you're fine. Hey.
By the way, Aaron reminded us we have our first sponsor of the night.
It's Baja Fresh.
Oh yeah, right.
Thank you. So I was gonna ask Matt, how often do you feed your kids Baja Fresh?
Never. I can't find one that's open anymore. Baja Fresh. We're not sure it's still
the only thing that is good at Baja Fresh is the churros, honestly.
No.
Oh, no, 100%.
Actually, we did say Chipotle earlier, too. So.
The quesadillas are pretty good. Chipotle is always consistent. Baja Fresh, I feel like... So, I think Chipotle is of all the, like, Tex-Mex fast food restaurants...
Don't you say it. Don't you say they're the best.
Chipotle is tops in terms... Shut up. Okay, shut up. All right, here's
a big argument.
This podcast is falling apart right now. Okay, so here's the deal. This is the deal. Chipotle has the best ingredients of any of the Tex-Mex places.
In terms of like
E. coli?
Like no.
Yeah. Yes, they have the best E. coli. They have the greatest E. coli.
This brings us to our second sponsor, Chipotle.
No, I thought our
We're number one in E. coli.
I thought our second sponsor was E. coli. But so here's the thing: Chipotle has the best ingredients, in terms of the best tasting ingredients. Their steak is better than anybody else's steak. Their rice is better than anybody else's rice, and their
thorough research.
Their queso is garbage. But yes, we'll forget about that.
True.
But Qdoba and Baja Fresh and Moe's. Everybody forgets about Moe's.
We're just naming every taco place, aren't we?
But they have a variety. They have like options. Like Chipotle's like you want a burrito, you want a burrito bowl, you want a quesadilla. Actually, no, you can't even get a quesadilla.
You can.
Yeah, on the kids menu.
No. You can get a full-size quesadilla.
Oh, they do that now?
Absolutely.
See, now
you can also ask for a quesarito, and they will make it.
I know. See, I okay, that's another secret menu. It's a burrito wrapped in a quesadilla.
Isn't that the same thing?
No.
So you just have cheese on it?
No. It's a burrito, like a full burrito.
Yeah, think of a burrito, but then on the outside, it's a quesadilla.
Like instead of it just being a regular tortilla.
So no, it's tortilla, cheese, tortilla, and then all of the burrito fixings.
So redundant.
But it's
it's like stuffed crust pizza. It's the stuffed crust pizza of burritos.
That's a great analogy.
See, thank you. See, here's the thing though. We're this podcast is about to go like an extra hour.
By the way, when you get to 40, you'll become a taco snob and you won't go to any of those joints. You'll just go to like R&R Taqueria on Route 1 in Elkridge.
R&R Taqueria, that's so good.
Or you make your own. I make a mean fish taco.
I'm sure you do.
Ooh, okay. Fish taco. What kind of fish?
Yeah,
this
what
is
kind of
important.
Whatever's on sale at Aldi's.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
you went
rolling
to
on a
Aldi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a
Shameless
grocery
plug
store
for
snob
Aldi's.
too.
Yeah. Matt's becoming like a protein snob.
My favorite,
We
though,
used
to be honest.
tilapia the other night
tilapia,
because
it's really
it
good.
was on sale and it was still
Thanks,
it was
Aldi's.
still good. # Old Bay.
Mahi is
Yeah.
the go-to
of
fish
course.
for a taco.
When your baller's on a budget.
I had
True.
I had a bag of steamed vegetables and a frozen turkey burger for dinner. So
Is it still frozen?
No, I mean it was a pre-made frozen turkey burger.
But he made it himself.
I cooked it. I threw it in the frying pan.
Dude,
myself.
you just tell me about this in the future. I'll make you a meal and bring you something over.
Yeah, that's true. So Matt for those who don't know, Matt has gotten super into barbecue recently.
My Instagram is entirely about smokers.
It's like I smoke things. He just eats and smoke things.
I'm very proud of my children and my smoker.
Yeah, which is higher up on that list?
The smoker.
Your kids haven't done anything that impressive yet.
I haven't been able to figure out how to wheel it into the pew at church on Sundays, but it's very important.
You won't have to take the smoker out because it's crying.
That's true.
Back to secret menu items real quick. We'll finish the podcast eventually. I need to talk about secret menu items for a minute. So does everybody know about those? Does everybody know? I mean, the quesarito, that's
In-N-Out Burger is the king of secret items.
Yeah, as Marylanders, that means nothing to us though because we can't go to In-N-Out because it's in California.
It's overrated anyway.
It is overrated.
Shut your mouth.
But secret menu items terrify me.
Like Starbucks
secret. And I feel like ordering a secret menu item takes confidence that I will never have.
Well,
the fear of going into McDonald's and saying, "Hi, could I have a McGangbang?" and them look at me like I'm a nutcase.
What is that?
It is a McDouble and a chicken sandwich together.
I've never heard of it.
It's a thing that people order. If you Google,
name.
it is a gross name, yes. But if you Google like secret menu items, that's like one of the top.
I think that somebody made that up.
Yes.
and
No,
wanted
and now
to
people-
dare you to do it.
See, that's what I think about all secret menu items. Like, I am terrified of all secret menu items because I feel like this is an elaborate prank for me to go into Shake Shack and say I want a peanut butter burger and then look at me like I'm a nutcase. But that's a thing, apparently. If you go, you can apparently get a burger and they'll give you a side of peanut butter sauce to put on the burger.
I'm going to start an Instagram account where I just follow you around while you order secret items off the menu.
That's like Idiot Abroad.
Can we tell our listeners
Yeah.
not to Google McGangbang?
Yeah, please don't. Yeah, no, do not order. Do not Google any of the. Well, Google secret menu items. Just Google list of.
Pink drink is really good from
Pink drink?
Starbucks. Oh my gosh, so good. It's acai. It's the strawberry acai refresher with coconut milk. It's
Ooh.
so good.
See, here's the
basic.
thing.
Starbucks has. The last time that we were in Starbucks, we got coffee with a friend.
So expensive.
Yep.
But
They're so expensive.
they
And
are-
all the
they
coffee's
are-
burnt.
They are expensive. The coffee's not like as good as like a local mom and pop coffee shop.
Yeah.
But there was literally like one plaque of stuff that you could order from that like, I could like physically see.
Yep.
But then the 7 people that were in the like Starbucks had something that was different than what was
exactly, and that's
I'm like, what the heck?
It's like
How
the
do you
fear
know that's there.
I don't know why.
Like Mick Cookie Crunch Double Frappe Lapa Fapa
exactly, yeah.
is not on the menu. But how
how do you know that? That's my fear about all secret menu items.
I have zero faith. Like, this sounds terribly snobby. I have zero faith in when I go to like a joint that they'll get my order right, that I don't want cheese on it. They're like asking for a secret item, like is asking for them to like
you're trusting them.
Get them, yeah, trusting them in a way like they can't even get like the no cheese thing,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna ask a secret item out of these people.
What if the secret item they just decide in the back? Hey, what do you want to put in it this time?
Yeah, that's so I've heard that. That's what I've heard about Starbucks. Is I've heard that at Starbucks they just like make it up for most of the secret menu items. Okay, so I googled real quick. I googled 11 secret fast food menu items you need to order.
Animal styles #1.
Well, it didn't. They're not ranked.
Here is information from Fortune.
Okay, Google was talking to me for a second. Sorry.
Our next
Google's also a sponsor.
Our next sponsor. Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by Google.
Well, now we can retire.
Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Look it up.
Yeah, Google. Look it up. Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by Ask Jeeves.
Wow.
So there's the Meat Mountain.
Which is from where?
At Arby's.
Oh.
And it looks like that.
Sounds terrible.
What is it? Wow. No.
An entire cow.
I just had a heart attack.
I know. I feel like my arteries are like.
Have you had that before?
Solid.
No, but at 3 a.m. after a lot to drink, that might be a good
They might be
idea.
there till 3.
This is the thing about like how like omnipresent their advertising is. My son will sit there and go, "Hey, did you pick up dinner? Is it Arby? We have the meats." And I'm like, "You just said the entire slogan with the name of the restaurant." He's never been to Arby's in his life.
We have the meat.
We have the meats. The meat splits.
So
Ew, probably.
the quesarito is on here.
Okay.
But they're calling it the burrito dia.
No.
No, that's incorrect. It's quesarito.
Well, that's because
wait, no, this is separate. This is separate from the quesarito.
Oh.
It says this is the quesarito's diet-friendly twin.
What?
The burrito dia is a quesadilla filled with about half the contents of a burrito, giving you the same flavors as the quesarito, but much less aggressively.
That's silly.
If I am ordering a quesarito, I'm not worried about how aggressive
Right.
it is. The Five Guys double grilled cheeseburger.
Yep. Okay.
So it's
Explain it.
it's a Five Guys burger, but instead of the top and bottom buns, the top bun is a grilled cheese and the bottom bun is a grilled cheese.
One of my pet peeves about the food industry, not the food industry itself, but it's like when someone's like, "Oh yeah, I had this ice cream, it's healthier for me." No, ice cream is not healthy for you in any way.
But how about
when you?
I've got some Halo Top in the freezer
That's
if you want
not-
some of that
I love
though.
it.
The Halo Top is delicious, but it's not healthy for you.
But it's got protein.
Tell me
It
right
told
now,
me it had protein.
Is the ice cream at Costco with the frozen strawberries in it, is it healthy for me? Because I'm on Weight Watchers.
No.
Everything in moderation. Like if you
So
want
not the whole cup.
no, if you want like
So like a
ice
little
cream,
bit of cocaine, just like just a moderate
Right.
amount of coke.
like
We get to drugs.
Yeah.
have you ever actually like you taken like
Most that's also one of the secret menu items, drugs.
have you ever taken like an actual serving size, like legitimate, like from like a half gallon or a gallon of ice
I
cream?
always feel like that's made up.
Yeah, I'm starving afterwards.
Well, but that's the thing is like that's
We're
an actual serving size, but the American diet is now like 4 to 5 times the normal serving size. So like our stomachs are accustomed to larger quantities of food.
Yep. Mhm.
And so the more that we eat larger quantities of food, our stomach is like, well, guess what? Like you did not get the amount of calories that you're used to.
I'm in
Therefore,
king size
still hungry.
agreement with
Which
you. Yes.
which brings me to the McDonald's Land, Sea, and Air Burger.
Oh gosh.
No.
Wait,
Can't-
What's
guess.
the
Let me
air?
guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Land is a cow, so beef.
Yes.
Cheeseburger.
Good job.
C, is it like a fish fillet?
Yes.
Okay, and then the air, like a chicken.
Yep. So
They
it
don't really
says
fly
Yeah,
though.
chickens don't fly.
It says
so basically it's land, sea, and land.
Land, sea, and coop.
land, sea. Maybe you don't know. Maybe those chickens at McDonald's are free range.
My daughter said the other day when like a chicken moved from one place to another, she goes, "I didn't know they could fly."
Yeah, no, they can run.
Yeah, no. So all right,
assuming it's actually chicken. So
That's true.
That's true.
Could be a horse.
It is white colored.
it could be pigeon. I mean,
The last
pork.
secret item I will leave us with is Sonic's purple Sprite.
I've never been to Sonic.
It's just Sprite with Dove.
What
It
makes
is
this
such an unusual experience.
mixing it with lemonade, Powerade, and cranberry juice?
Can't they like? Don't they
Sprite.
deliver to your car?
on
Yeah,
roller
mhm,
skates.
Yeah.
So,
Not all of them, hardly any of them deliver on roller skates anymore.
Oh, okay. So when they did order like deliver on roller skates, have you? So you've been to Sonic?
Yes.
Have you ever?
lot.
Okay. So did you ever get your meal delivered to you in your car?
Yes.
Yes.
They
Okay.
usually do.
So
They get in your car,
right.
they put
so,
the
take,
drink in the
like,
cup holder.
They put a napkin across your lap for you.
Do you feel like more sad or less sad when you eat in your car?
See, it reminds me.
I love eating in my car.
See, all right. I feel
I'm by
like shots
myself.
are being fired, and it hurts, but it's also very accurate.
No, because I can come from a state of ignorance because I've never been
So
to Sonic.
okay, so here's the thing.
So like you don't eat something. Sorry,
No,
you
you're
don't,
good.
Like get drive through and eat in your car.
No,
Ever?
I would rather
it home.
I would take it home and I will enjoy it in the comfort and like of my own home and watching Parks and Rec.
If I eat it in
you're
my
like the person that brings out the full plates and sets. And
Yeah, you
puts
like-
the Big Mac on the plate and cuts it up and.
No, I'll never cut up a burger.
I'll never eat
So
a Big
on a
Mac.
road trip.
Yeah,
On a road trip, you're
Yep.
on Route
That's a
70 going west.
totally different story.
How?
Road trip, well, because like if
Necessity.
a road trip that is like 3 hours long, I want calories to one stay awake.
Yeah, you gotta get shit
But, like,
done and just
but
do
I'm
what
not
you
gonna
need to
wait
do.
3 hours to get to eat food. I will wait like 10 minutes to eat.
Okay.
But I'd rather like eat comfortably in like my own home than to like eat in the car and oh no, that's just
Side
me.
note, we definitely ate on the way here.
What'd you eat? You had
We
Chipotle?
had meal prep.
Oh, you had meal prep.
We meal prep. So
We
that's
had
cute.
Brussels sprouts and
yeah.
chicken and sweet potatoes.
Nice,
delicious.
See, that's what I order at Sonic every time I go. That's what I get at Sonic.
in your car.
Yeah. So here's the thing about eating in your car at Sonic. It takes you back mentally to a simpler time. Like it's
Which
supposed
you
to.
weren't alive for.
I was not alive for. It's supposed to invoke like the whole point of Sonic. It is supposed to invoke the like 50s drive-through, where you have somebody roll up to your window and drop it off, or like in the Flintstones when they drop the giant hunk of meat on the side of his car and his car tips over. Like it's supposed to invoke that. But I think nowadays eating in your car has a much sadder connotation where you're just like eating a Big Mac in your car to hide it from your wife kind of thing.
Okay, so now you're doing a biography of me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is Matt's story.
She'll never know.
Yeah, shame on you for eating a Big Mac. Can we
She
talk
looks
about
at the credit card
the Big Mac
receipts.
Big Mac is the worst item at McDonald's.
Do you still remember the Big Mac jingle?
Wait, hold on. All beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, something on a sesame seed
Come
bun.
on.
Alright,
All beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onion on a sesame seed
Onions
bun.
on a sesame seed
Ah,
bun.
come
See, here's the thing though. McDonald's, like at the time, I guess that was probably the most meat that McDonald's had available. Like those thin patties that they use for the Big Mac. But now they have like double quarter pounders and like all these massive burgers that you can get at McDonald's to where like
Quarter pounder, half pounder.
yeah, it should be a half pounder. Yes, Megan, you brought up something that has
But it's-
bothered me for years.
No. It's two separate meat patties. It's got to be a double quarter pounder because like it's
Two
plus-
quarter-pound
plus
patties.
they're cooked down. You know,
Yeah.
like they clock in
But-
at a quarter pound.
Yeah.
and then they're cooked down.
But the point is that the Big Mac is a very lame burger because of the very small amount of meat that it actually has.
So there's more like
There's a lot of bread.
fixins.
There's more
the
fixings than there
actual
is meat. And it's like you could get another burger at McDonald's, which you shouldn't eat McDonald's. I am like currently going through withdrawal where I had a very bad addiction to McDonald's, and I wish I was joking, but like I was eating McDonald's very, very constantly, very regularly. And
I have a McDonald's gift card for you, by the way.
No, get it away from me, please. It is too simple for me. I just, it's so easy to do it.
Is there an app you can just order?
I think there is.
Uber will bring McDonald's.
Uber, yeah,
I've never done
You're
that.
making him feed back into his feed.
Yeah, you're feeding my addiction. Oh gosh. Anyway, yeah. So fast food, it's bad. You shouldn't do it. But if you do it, go to the secret menu and have at it if you have the confidence. Boom! I just brought it all the way around. Let's ask them one more time what gets them out of bed. Like a quick, simple answer. What gets you out of bed?
Get you out of bed.
Go.
Oh gosh. I guess the opportunity to have like positive effects on other people. That would be the short answer of it all.
Okay.
Basically, there is more to what I do mentally than I think there is physically.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in terms of like coaching and strength conditioning, it's more about building relationships with people and kind of building a trust and a rapport that shows them that, you know, you care about them holistically, not just about as an athlete, but as a person, because they are people first, athletes second. At the end of the day, they're not going to play soccer or basketball or baseball their entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's a really big like change that you can have with these kids that are trying to basically find themselves, and you can teach them that like hard work is okay and failing is actually a positive thing depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from the discipline it takes to get to someplace on time. The amount of work that goes into trying to reach a goal, like teamwork, camaraderie, like all of these things go into strength and conditioning. And I think people kind of wash it out with just like run fast, lift a lot. But there's so much more that goes into coaching that I don't think people really realize and appreciate. Mm-hmm. And it's not their fault, but but if you ever ask a coach, like really like, what do you do and how do you do it? There's so many things that go on.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome to be a part of that.
Meanwhile, Megan, as a teacher, failing is not okay, correct?
Unfortunately, because of our education system.
No, it's not okay.
No, because short term, their kids are so motivated by the grade.
Yeah, test scores,
which means
man.
that they are going to not fully learn. Like learning is so different now, I think, than even when I was in high school. But they're so motivated by the grade that a lot of them use each other, or, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that they're all immoral or whatever, but they'll stop at nothing to get a good grade, and that's what they're motivated by. And I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m. so that I can finish this assignment or study for this test. And so their motivation is the end result of good grades, which get them to college, which then get them to a successful job, whatever success is, makes money. You know, a lot of them are motivated by that. So when you try to teach something like failure, right away they look to that, like, oh, my life's over, I'm not gonna get a good job, I'm not gonna whatever, rather than like, no, failure helps us learn. And so that's something you have to kind of reinstill in them. I teach seniors, and it's hard because they're, you know, 17 years old, and I think they have their entire life figured out. I don't even have my life figured out. But so when we have conversations about failure or making mistakes or something, trying to give them that safe space where they can still grow and learn from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard. But yeah, what gets me out of bed?
Yeah, what gets you out of bed?
I think to like simplify it is just like love in general. And I don't mean like the lovey-dovey Sean and I kind of thing, but that I firmly believe that I am here to love other people, to give of myself to other people. And that looks so differently in so many different situations. So with my husband, with my family, with my siblings, my friends, but with my students, and to enter into relationships with them. I'm there for a reason. I'm there to help them to find God, or there to help them, just like Sean was saying, have learn skills that are there for them for life. But really, the heart of it is that my life is not just for me. And so that means that after Labor Day, it's our first day of school, and I'll be waking up at 5 a.m. again, and you can remind me that
What you said.
get out of bed for love, even
Yeah.
when I don't want to. But on even the most challenging days, I remember that that this is what I'm here for.
Nice.
And it's those, like I said earlier, we play the unsung hero card.
Yep.
But anytime that we do have someone that is like, look, you have affected me in this way, it reaffirms us that, like, yes, this is what we're called to do. This is why, we go through the crap that we go through and the long days and the like sleepless nights sometimes. Like, this is the reason why we love what we do.
So this may have been our deepest episode
Oh, by a landslide.
by a landslide. I think last
female.
it's because we got a lady.
Unfortunately, Frankie wasn't here because this would have served as your marriage prep.
Yeah, that would have been perfect marriage prep. Yeah.
Good thing we recorded it. Oh
Yeah.
shoot, it didn't record.
Oh no, we didn't record any of this. No.
There was no blinking light.
Yeah. It was a dream all along. No.
Shutter Island.
Shutter Island. Ooh.
Was he a patient?
Yeah, he was 100%
He was in
of
there
it.
on purpose.
Well, no, the question isn't was he a patient. The question is, did he
decide?
know? Did he like?
you know.
Did he know, like, and believe it, or is he like pretending? And he totally knew, and he wants to die a hero so that he doesn't have to live with what he did to his wife.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
It was family movie night tonight.
and
that
you
I
guys
left.
watched Shutter
Well,
Island?
yes, it was on Amazon Prime, and I was like, well,
Wait, you picked Shutter Island for family movie night?
I wanted to, but then it was like some Noah's Ark cartoon. So yeah, sacrifice.
Oh, so you watched Titanic?
yes.
Wait, the
Wife made
Noah's
that reference too.
Noah's Ark sank, right?
Because it was some brand of animal that wasn't going to get on the boat.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
Anyway, so
Never let go, Jack.
never let go. Paint me like one
There
of
was-
your French girls.
There was definitely room on that lifeboat.
yeah, really. The door. It was a door, and
Rose was
yeah.
an evil person.
Yeah,
She cheated on her boyfriend.
She was ready.
yeah,
Okay.
garbage. Anyway,
All right.
so at Doyle Duo or at the Doyle Duo
At the Doyle Duo.
on Instagram. Okay. Any other plugs that you want to make?
No.
What?
Where can people find your business?
Oh, so I am in Gambrels, Maryland. It's called Athletic Performance Incorporated, or API for short. I work there. If you mention this podcast and you show up, I will give you a free training session.
Yeah, and
How? How
how?
can they get you? Yeah.
Oh, by email or by phone. So email would be Sean at athleticperformanceinc.com.
nice. And if you go, you'll get to see me there practicing soccer.
Indeed.
Because I did score a goal last night in soccer.
And Megan, if you're an 8th grade student looking to go to a high school,
Where should they go? Yeah. Where should they
So-
reach you?
At the John Carroll School in Bel Air, Maryland.
Nice.
Great co-ed Catholic school. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Good.
And we'll have the links here with the podcast in
The description when we have descriptions. See, this is
This is
weird.
all going to be so much more organized.
This is going to be so much easier when we actually start posting things, because up until this point, we still haven't posted any of these episodes yet. So we can't, we don't know what, we say link in the description.
the mythical description.
We don't know what the description looks like.
Boo John Carroll, by the way.
What the heck?
What the heck?
Aaron,
Strike that from the record.
yeah. All right. So let it be known that our key grip over here, Aaron Decker, said, "Boo the John Carroll School." He's insulting our guest right as she's about to
He's
leave.
going to be demoted to caterer next week.
Yeah, really.
I
yeah.
brought the pizza. You bring the pizza next time.
Yeah. To be fair, Aaron does provide the drinks most weeks.
It's only because I'm from Calvert Hall, so they're
Yeah,
a
whatever.
rival school, so...
Oh, I thought you said you only
We care
provide the
more.
drinks because you went to Calvert Hall.
Yes,
That's okay. I went to Curly.
Because that school drove you to alcoholism.
Curly is no one's rival.
that's true.
So, yeah.
Curly's just hanging out, doing
Yeah.
its thing.
We're good.
Yeah. Anyway, thank
All
you.
the Baltimore schools represented.
Yeah, Gibbons.
Spalding. And John Carroll now.
Yeah,
Except me.
Yeah, poor Gibbons. All right, this podcast is sponsored to you by Cardinal Gibbons.
Let's close it up just like Gibbons.
Oh,
Bad.
all crusaders rally round Fill old Bulmer with a mighty sound.
Bye, guys.
There's
Thanks so
a
much.
job
Thank
to
you,
be
guys.
done
Bye.
by the red and white, and success can be ours if we fight, fight, fight. See you guys later. Thanks for listening. Bye. He's still recording.